Hello world, hello world. Welcome back to my channel. Call me Biz. This is an interesting one. 50 people show us their state's accents, culturally speaking. This is dope because I've lived in many states, most of them for like 1 or 2 years, but I would say from the different states I've lived in Rhode Island the longest, but Florida accent and the Boston accent, I feel like are the most, like, you just know, people from Boston, they be like, yard, cars, stuff like that. And people from Florida, sometimes I don't even understand what's going on. I'll be honest with you. But even here, like living in Georgia, a lot of people from Georgia, they don't think they have an accent. I'm like, you definitely do. They tell me I have an accent. They say, you sound like you from New York. I'm like, I'm not from New York. But I know why you say that, because most people from the South think if it's not the South, it's New York. Nah, I have a mix of Creole and Rhode Island. It's a mix of Creole and Rhode Island. So yeah. Let's go ahead and watch. This is interesting. Like the video, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. Let me know where you are from. I want to know where y'all from, all right? Oh, Baltimore got a crazy accent too. Let's go ahead and watch.
I never thought I had an accent, but everyone else told me I did, so I never really understood my accent. But we say soda pop, like and that was weird, I guess.
Yeah, that is weird. Pop! They say that in the South too.
The great thing about Oklahoma is it's really this confluence of a whole bunch of different parts of the country. So the northern part of the state is really like the plains, so people kind of have that flat Iowa accent.
People always know I'm from the Midwest when I say bagel.
But if you get down south to the Little Dixie portion, it has a much more of a southern drawl.
Elongating those vowels a little bit.
And saying y'all every sentence.
How y'all doing today?
Y'all wanna go to Waffle House? Come on over, we'll go to Waffle House.
It's just like real round in your mouth and you're just like, hey y'all, how we doing tonight? Are you guys gonna go down to the game this weekend? I'm so excited. Like Joshua's doing real great this year.
Everybody talks really slow, especially compared to New Yorkers.
Most New Yorkers are loud. You gotta fit your way into a conversation most oftentimes when you're in New York.
Vermont's accent is very unique and it's hard to slip into unless you're talking to another person who like grew up farming. But the phrase that I can say in my accent is always, oh sure bud.
Oh wow.
People from California kind of have like, they say like.
Colorado doesn't really have a typical accent. Lots of people say that it has no accent, but you'll definitely get called out if you say Colorado. It's Colorado.
So I've been told from people in New York that my state has an accent. Some people go Chicago. I don't think we do.
There's parts that I can hear like a little bit of a twang and kind of sound like this.
Some people in New Mexico have accents, depending on what part of the state you're from. People in the South tend to sound a little bit more like they could be from Texas.
Really wide syllables, really kind of drawn out phrases.
It's a little sing-songy, like a little bit Valley
I
Girl
like the Texas
almost.
accent.
I'm from New Mexico and I love eating burritos.
You wanna go skiing up on mountain?
Pass me those taters.
I mean, like there's cowboys, there's horses. I don't know, because I don't feel like I have an accent.
I went home a couple of years ago and was watching home videos of my sister and I, and we had to like do a weather forecast as like little kids, and we'd be like, there's a big hurricane coming from the left coast, but don't worry because we don't know that it's coming. And people would be like, what are you saying?
I can put on you gotta park the car and hop down and get the garlic water for some chowder. That's a standard Boston accent right there.
Yeah.
Any ER would have an AH at the end.
It's kind of like Boston, but cooler and a bit more drunk. Like, we gotta go up to Baja, but I get some lobster supper.
My mom has this kind of strange half French Canadian, half Boston accent that sounds like peanut characters. Womp womp. Womp womp womp.
Well, if you're from North Dakota, you've got some long O's.
Oh yeah, you betcha.
You hang on to your R's a little too.
It gets a little bit thicker the older you are. Your grandma sounds a little bit like this. Your mom might be a little bit softer.
I'm from Wisconsin. Go Pack Go. It kind of gets like up here. Go Pack. I say big. I have some eggs in a bag.
The best example of the Wyoming accent I feel like I've ever seen was in Brokeback Mountain. One curve in the road, and they missed it.
So if you live in Washington State, no one ever says they have an accent. They all think they speak pretty normal, which is kind of true.
Just kind of middle of the road. Sort of like Delaware itself.
But they also kind of have like a country hit kind of thing to them. So they'll say like, Worshington, like I'm gonna wash my hands, and you're like, worsh? What kind of a word is that?
We pronounce our T's as D's, so we say like Connecticut instead of Connecticut.
I feel like Michigan's typical accent is very nasally, high, like that type of vibe.
So if I'm from like Northside Kauai, I'm going to sound something like this.
People say that us Marylanders have accents, but I don't think we have an accent.
Idaho doesn't have a really distinct accent.
There's no accent in Indiana.
This might be very biased, but I really don't think we have an accent.
I don't hear it, but I get reminded of it when I travel.
I mean, I think this is normal.
It's a perfect neutral Pacific Northwest tone. Sarah Palin does not have a typical Alaska accent. She's not really from there. She grew up in, I don't know, Kansas or something.
My husband laughs at me because I say wolf instead of wolf.
Our accents are all over the place.
The first one that comes to my head is a Latino one. Me voy a coger un cortadito.
There's the St. Louis accent where we say certain things like quarters and water.
Where I'm from, they like to say Haina or Mayan. That shirt over there is Mayan. From Philly, they like to say wooder and yous guys. But in Pittsburgh, instead of yous guys, they say yins. What are yins doing?
North Carolina it's an interesting accent. It's just got a little bit of a drawl.
It's a little lazier.
Just very slow pace, very good, very nice.
There's Charleston, South Carolina, which is more like this. It's more smooth. It might have a daughter named Darcy.
And then you got the real squealy southern accent. And then you just got the very just, hey, how you doing? God bless. You have a good day now.
You're gonna have a good day now. They are like, there's a lot of states that I feel like don't necessarily have an accent. New Jersey, I never picked it up. Connecticut too. I never, but Connecticut, like I thought everybody just said Connecticut. And that's what I thought. But Rhode Island is interesting because in Rhode Island, I feel like it depends on where. Like I feel like the inner city people from like Providence and stuff, I guess because it's mixed with kind of like Ebonics or whatever. That's probably why there's a lot of slang in it. Like we do say use guys and a couple of different, but I feel like it's a mix. I feel like Rhode Island doesn't necessarily have its own accent. I feel like Rhode Island is just like a little bit of Mass, a little bit of Connecticut, a little bit of New York, because it's just a melting pot of a lot of different, well, I'm talking about the inner city, unless you go on the outskirts where it's just white people only. It's probably different how they talk, because I do notice that when you go to college and you start going around these areas where it's predominantly white, I guess that's how you would get to see what they call the Rhode Island accent. But a lot of those people aren't even from Rhode Island. They're from like around, and they come to Rhode Island so I don't know what the Rhode Island accent is. I really don't know, but I don't know. To me, I feel like it's just a mixture of, I don't know. But the accent I love the most, I love Texas accent. I love the Texas accent. I don't know why. They just, especially when you get older, they just talk. they talk like they got shit under control. And New York accent too. New York accent is very aggressive. But I don't know, man. You know what's crazy? You go out the country, everybody sounds the same. They don't care. Oh, that's probably an American. That's an American right there. It's crazy. That was very interesting, though. That was very interesting. Next time, they should do the hood version. Hood slangs, all right? How people from the hoods of every fucking state or city sound like. all the main cities. That's what I want to see. I want to hear those slangs. But even though the internet right now is kind of mixing everything up, so you might hear somebody from like Rhode Island saying jit. Nah, you won't hear that. That's traveling too far. But when I lived in Florida for like a couple of years, jit became in my vocabulary. I ain't gonna lie, I stole a couple of words from them and I was saying them. So the internet, it's really what's in the music now. Like, that's what's driving the lingo. You feel me? Because everybody can see and hear what everybody's saying, and they know the new stuff that's in. Like, everybody's saying no cap. That's a Georgia slang. You feel me? So it's stuff like that. But anyways, I'm talking too much. Where you from, huh? Rep your yo, let me know where you from in the comment section, and do you have an accent or not? My accent is definitely a Haitian accent mixed with like Rhode Island and a whole bunch of other shit. So let me know yours. I'll see y'all in the next one, and guess what? You better be there. Peace.